Veritas community. So as many of you know, our beloved Jackie Lake has ended her longtime career with us here at Veritas Academy. And that opened up one of the critical positions in our school. One thing that Jackie said before she left was the kindergarten teacher is the gateway for many students into Veritas Academy. So it was a high calling to find someone who could replace Jackie Lake. And this year, after we did all the interviews and met with anybody, we were thrilled to invite Linda Yang into that role. So welcome, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So happy to be part of the Veritas family. Very excited to try to fill the roles of Jackie's shoes here.
Well, they're different sets of shoes, right?
Yes.
And you're going to bring so many wonderful things to the job. One of the things that really impressed me about Linda when you came is that not only did you sit through, you did your interview, but then afterwards you stayed. And I went back to the class for something, and Jackie had moved on to a makeup test or something, and Linda was going around desk to desk checking on students, functioning as kindergarten teacher before getting to classroom. So talk to us a little bit about where you're from, some of your background. How did you end up here at Veritas Academy?
So I'd like to say that I grew up here in Lancaster County. I attended Clay Elementary School, and so I am definitely
born and bred Lancastrian.
Yeah, well, I moved here at the age of 5, and so I'd like to consider myself a native here.
I think that does it. At 5 years old, I think you're in. Yeah.
Yes, and so I have been living here since then. I'm married, and we have children. We've been raising our children here in Lancaster County, and so I've been living here pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I decided to go back to school to finish my degree, and just graduated in May, and was looking for a place to serve the Lord well. And as I was looking, I found Veritas, and I was like, this is absolutely wonderful. This is what I'm looking for. I actually homeschooled my children for quite a few years as well, and a lot of the same things that values that I have and my husband have, and that we instilled in our children was exactly what Veritas is doing here as well. And so I just thought, wow, if I could get a position at Veritas, it would be absolutely wonderful.
Well, it seems like a wonderful fit. I really appreciate the way that you handle yourself in the classroom, and I know it's a lot to take in, but the work you've already done, it seems like you're acclimatizing yourself right quickly to it. And your background is fairly broad, because you've taught not only homeschooling, but you've worked in ministries that are quite broad. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that as well.
Yes. So I had said in my interview that I went from children's ministry to being a part of children's ministry as a teacher's assistant. Pretty much I left children's ministry, became an assistant in children's ministry, and then became a teacher when I was 18. And so I've been teaching Sunday school class in children's ministry since the age of 18. And then in addition to that, I've also have been in our missions committee. I'm currently the missions director at the Hmong Alliance Church. I've also worked within the Alliance Women department as well. So I've been treasurer, I've been a secretary. The secretary position was pretty interesting because I had to be able to read and write in both Hmong and English.
Oh, wow.
And so that was quite an adventure for me. I'd like to say that I pretty much have served in almost every ministry at church. I've also been part of like the worship team as well. My husband and I have helped out and been youth sponsors, single adult sponsors. And so I feel that, with the ministry background that I have, I've worked with many different age groups. I know that I will be teaching kindergarten here, and I'm really looking forward to that, but definitely with the experience that I have had ministry-wise, I feel like I am well prepared. Yes.
Yeah, and I can attest, we often ask people when they come, how are you okay with singing? And because as many of you know, parents, right, there's a lot of singing and chanting goes on.
Yes.
Some teachers feel very uncomfortable, and so I think we had asked you that, and then during the class you had a chant and started singing, and I thought, actually, I think, Lindy, the quality of singing is a little too high. A little too high. We're not used to that kind of caliber of singing. It was very, actually, I kind of wish you'd have carried on. It was really beautiful to hear it in the classroom. So as you said, you've had a range of teaching. The kindergarten is very different than every age, obviously. What about the kindergarten years do you think is most interesting to you?
I think, as Jackie was saying, it is a gateway for the rest of their learning. I think that it is a foundation, a stepping stone for the rest of their learning. And at this age, children come and they are just so ready to absorb what is at hand. And so I think for me, it really is an honor to be one of their first formal teachers.
Yeah.
And so I take that with heart. I take that with hard work as well, being prepared to be a teacher. And so I think at this age group of being a kindergartner, I think it's just a wonderful time to be able to instill values that they'll carry on with
Yeah.
them, whether that's academic, spiritual, emotional,
Right.
social, all of that.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny here. I mean, many students have come back years later and they run to their kindergarten classroom to see Jackie, right? And to remember that. So you're right. I mean, it's a critical part of the time for students to grow. And you've already said this, and you've had ministry in your background. So how do you plan, and this is difficult, I think teachers have different ways of answering this, but how do you plan to weave those truths about who God is into the curriculum without academics sort of losing that flavor of academics, or, you know, our understanding of God sort of being lost or diluted? How do you work that out?
Well, I think that, especially being that Veritas is a Christian school, I think it'd be really easy to, in everything that we do, to be talking about the Lord. I mean, the weather is beautiful outside. Why is that? The Lord gave us this beautiful day. And so I think that that's, you know, a privilege that I will have working here at Veritas, is that I'm able to weave everything in, because it should be a natural part of our everyday conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
And you already mentioned the classical part, which is a pretty broad category for a lot of people. There's a lot that goes into it. Is there anything particularly about the classical school models? You've engaged with it maybe in your own homeschooling and here, something about that just appeals to you. You say, hey, this really makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah, I think just going back to understanding that we don't need to separate the academic and the spiritual, right? That it is actually all one sphere. That's the one thing that I really do like about the classical education, is understanding that everything that we learn, it is within a Christian worldview, and that it shouldn't be separate.
Right. Yeah, no, that's excellent, because I think one of the things I've found even in my own daughters who've gone through is they don't see these things as separate. They were just brought up in a way that this is all part of their world together. And I credit teachers who've made that work for their students. So kind of excited to have you do that. So help us get to know Mrs. Yang to you students, to parents, Linda. Help us to get to know you a little bit. What are some of the things you really love to do when you're not in the classroom?
So my husband and I, we love hiking. We love traveling. And so you can find us hiking on the weekends. We did play volleyball when we were younger. You know, as we're getting a little older now, our bodies are a little more achy, and you know, we're not able to keep up with our kids as much.
Wait, to get my age, it doesn't get any better.
Snowboarding, we really enjoy snowboarding as well. So I think with our family, we really like outdoor things. I think actually one of the most memorable trips that we had with our children was RVing throughout the U.S. Like we took a summer to take the children RVing to the different national parks. So I mean, you may see myself and my husband just walking around a neighborhood, taking a hike through a park.
And you say travel, which is sometimes part of ministry work. I know you're headed off to Vietnam shortly. So is that something that you get to do or have to do routinely?
It's something that we get to do. I think that it is such an honor to be able to be an ambassador for Lord anywhere we go. And so as you're saying, we will be leaving for Vietnam in a couple of days, and I have the opportunity to teach English there. And so again, it's just one of those things where travel is a plus in addition to being able to speak truth into people, to be able to teach them different life skills that they may need.
Yeah. Well, you all can be praying for the Yang family. If you get to see us later and they've already traveled, you can just pray for their future ministry. But we're praying for you as you travel.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to have you here, Linda. I know it's a lot of work to get used to the model and jump in the classroom, but I'm really excited to see what you can do with our students and as you manage your curriculum. So if you see you around, please welcome her as part of our family and our community. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you. I am too.